Our next Sea Action News report is about one of the hottest areas of boating, PWCs. This type of boat is one of the most popular in all of powerboating. The advances in PWCs have been big.
And with that popularity comes a huge population of boaters that need to know the basics of boating and water safety. Our report on PWC safety is one of the largest in all of our presentations.
We are going to go to Annapolis to get the full story. This is a segment you won't want to miss. On hand is Sequest Kids KBN Sea Action News field reporter Amanda Kelly.
You know, how do we get on the duty list for assignments like this? Whoa, check out those PWCs.
Thanks. We're here in Annapolis with Sequest Kids' great friends, the Maryland Natural Resources Police. Class A boats are less than 16 feet long. As a Class A boat, the federal government requires them to have certain safety equipment, which differs from some things required for Class 1, Class 2, and Class 3 boats. The main difference are that a Class A boat doesn't have to carry a Type 4 PFD, which is the throwable, and the visual distress signal only needs to be approved for nighttime use. As required in your PWC will be registration and numbers. PWCs are often called jet skis. Now, back in the day, when this type of boat was just starting out, it was a boat where you stood up or kneeled down to run it. As jet skis became more user-friendly, they were made bigger and more stable, and seats were added. Now that they are bigger and more like a boat, we call them a personal watercraft. A PWC is a jet drive boat. That means that instead of a propeller under the boat, the engine pumps a very strong stream of water, a jet of water, out of the back of the boat. There is a place where water is drawn in, and that is called the intake. It is covered by a grid or screen to keep out everything except water. The water is drawn in and pushed through by an impeller. The impeller is like a fan midway in the plumbing. It draws the water in and pushes it out the jet. The jet makes the water go in a fast, tight stream, just like the water coming out of the nozzle on a hose. If you have ever dropped a hose with the nozzle locked on the fastest setting and the water is turned on full blast, it will get away from you and you will have to chase it. The jet is turned by the steering of the handlebars and it shoots the water one way or another. That is how the boat steers.
There are a couple of things you need to know when operating a PWC. First of all, when you're operating a PWC, you're sitting on top of it instead of in it, which means it's a lot easier to fall off. This is known in physics and engineering as center of gravity and turning moment. The more you weigh, the greater tendency for you to roll over because the center of gravity is higher. A safe running speed is determined by weather conditions, load, and what activity you're doing. If it's your first time on a PWC, take time to learn how to operate it. Remember to be cautious as you increase your performance level.
We're lucky to have some of the most expert people in the world help us out today, Miss Julie Brown and Officer Kelly.
Jen is holding in her hand the lanyard, or the safety kill switch. She's going to put that around her wrist since she will be the operator today. And before we get out, we have a couple things to check to make sure this is working properly. First, Jen will take the lanyard and connect it to the button on the Personal Watercraft. She's going to take the lobster clip and slide it underneath the little button. Now, just so you all know, remember that Personal Watercraft do have different style lanyards. This happens to be a lobster claw style, so make sure you know your lanyard before you actually get out there on the water. Now that she's attached it, we're going to make sure that the craft actually starts by pressing the green button. Now that the craft is started, Jen's going to pull the lanyard, which shows that the lanyard is actually working properly because the ski did turn off.
Get trained.
Get educated. Get certified.
Be patient. You're in command. Boat safely.
And remember, life jackets, they float. You don't.
Tip of the day. Remember, you must wear your life jacket when you're on a PWC. It can save your life. It's very important that you have it on. And that means on properly with it zipped and buttoned appropriately. Because if not, if it falls off, it won't save your life.
Well, that's all for now. This is your KBN Sea Action News field reporter, Amanda Kelly, signing out from Sandy Point State Park in Annapolis, Maryland.